One of the first books I have to review would be, of course, a Georgette Heyer, or Heyer, however you want to pronounce her last name. She is by far my mentor. I think she's most of the historical romance authors' mentors, and she's fabulous. She's the gold standard, and her writing is exceptional. She's untouchable. And one of the books that I like, and the reason that I'm rating the angst hero and heroine level that I do is because of a lot of the reviews that I have read through the years, and I can understand some of the problems with our hero and heroine that some people have. So bear that in mind. This is not mine ratings necessarily, because this is one of my very, very favorites by Georgette Heyer, and that is Friday's Child. The plot is a friends to lovers plot. The angst is, I'll rate it as a 3 because of some of the reviews that I have read over the years. It's due to our hero and our heroine. I love Sherry, who is a Viscount. He is Lord Sheringham, and of course he inherited very early in life, so he's extremely spoiled. He is somewhat of a rake and lives his life by his own rules, which most of the nobility did back then. And then our heroine is just out of the schoolroom, Miss Hero Wantage. Very, very naive and very, very silly. But she and Sherry have been friends since they were children. And when he is continually turned down by who he thinks he loves, turns him down flat, well, his inheritance is being held by 2 uncles. One he's sure who's stealing it, the other one who just really doesn't care. He's wanting to get a hold of this. Well, the only way he can get a hold of his money if he marries. So now he's determined to marry anybody that comes along. And of course he runs, on the way to London, he runs into Hero, his friend. And he's already decided that he's going to marry the first girl he sees. He doesn't care who it is. And of course it's Hero. And of course she's been crazy about him. She's following him around. She's let him treat her terribly while they were growing up. And so she jumps at the opportunity because she's being raised by some relatives that have not treated her well. So she looks at it as a way to get out herself. So she jumps at the chance. So they end up in London, and they end up married with a lot of scrapes and a lot of just craziness going on. Georgette Heyer is a superb writer. She writes humor like no one can, and it's funny. I find it funny. A lot of people do not. I've rated Sherry as a 3 and Hero as a 3 only because they are frustrating for a lot of people. It takes Sherry a while to realize that he loves her, and it takes her a while to mature and realize that a lot of the things she does is inappropriate, and it's going to cost her, and it does. And then of course we have some characters that are beloved and just lovable characters, and we have Gil, one of Sherry's friends, and he's the problem solver. He tries to take care of everything. And then we have George. George's character that you don't want to like, but you can't help it because he is just a frustrated, needs anger management terribly, and you just can't help but like George. At least I couldn't. And then we come to Ferdy. Ferdy, as far as I'm concerned, steals this book. And if you're a Georgette Heyer fan, you know that Georgette, in another form, brings that character, that lovability, that humor back in cotillion with the hero of that book as Freddie. And even though it's not the same character, she admits in her biographies that Freddie was based on Ferdy. I don't think she had any idea that Ferdy was going to steal this book, but he does, and he is hilarious. So there's brilliant characters, and of course her writing is just phenomenal. And so I would say if you are not familiar with Georgette Heyer, and you enjoy the historical romance, you've got to read some of her books. And like I said, Friday's Child is one of those that a lot of people don't like it, especially the younger groups. And I think because Hero is typical of the Regency era for most of the young ladies, especially right out of the schoolroom, which she is. Very naive, she knows very little, and she knows nothing of London and the upper society. So she gets into a lot of scrapes, which causes Sherry a lot of frustration, but that's also when he realizes that he's fallen in love with her, and probably always was in love with her. But so check out Friday's Child. It's a good read, and you can't beat Georgette Heyer.